Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to study the topic Wuchereria bancrofti. As you all know, it causes filariasis. So just open the PPT side by side. I'll explain it to you accordingly. So the first topic is aim. In the PPTs, we'll study the morphology, life cycle, pathogenicity, and lab diagnosis of Wuchereria bancrofti. This is the pathological condition caused by infection of filarial nematodes which are transmitted by different vectors. In this, the infection occurs in blood vessels, lymphatic system, connective tissues and serous cavities. In the next slide, we'll study that the classification is based on this only. It is a disease of tropical warmlands. Classification of filariasis is based on the area of the body which the worm mainly affects. So the filariasis is classified into three: lymphatic filariasis, subcutaneous filariasis and serous cavity filariasis. In lymphatic filariasis, the lymphatic system is affected and it is caused by Wuchereria bancrofti, Brugia malayi, Brugia timori. The second is subcutaneous filariasis. It affects the subcutaneous area of the skin and it is caused by Loa loa. In the serous cavity, the third is the serous cavity filariasis. It affects the abdomen serous cavity. It is caused by Manzanella ozardi and Manzanella persistens. Various filarial nematodes are shown. Once the question has been asked, describe various microfilaria with diagram. So just study this with figure and just note down 1-2 difference from book and study it accordingly. Lymphatic filariasis is caused by Wuchereria bancrofti, Brugia malayi and Brugia timori. All the three filarial nematodes are shown in the figure. Just have a look on the figure. Now we'll study Wuchereria bancrofti, as we have Wuchereria bancrofti in syllabus only. Wuchereria bancrofti, as told in the previous lectures, causes lymphatic filariasis. It is the most common and widespread species of filaria infecting humans. Now we'll study the habitat. So where it lives in the lymph nodes and the lymphatic vessels of human only. So the predisposition of Wuchereria bancrofti is the lymphatic system. Now the geographical area or the distribution where it is found. It is found in the tropics and subtropics of Asia, Africa and South America. But a large number of cases are reported in India of filariasis. The filariasis is endemic along the banks of large rivers. Study the morphology of adult worms. That is how long they are, what is their sizes and what is the difference between male and female worms. So the adult worm are long, hair-like, transparent nematodes, often creamy white in color like the white thread. They are filiform in shape and both ends are tapering. Now there is slight difference between the male and female. The male measures 2.5 to 4 centimeter in length and 0.1 millimeter in thickness. But the female is longer and thicker compared to male. The female measures 8 to 10 centimeter in length and 0.2 to 0.3 millimeter in thickness. The tail end of male is curved and contains two spicules of unequal length, whereas the female, the tail end is narrow and abruptly pointed. In the next slide, I have given the diagrams of both male and female worms. You can just have a look and compare it with these measurements. The females are ovoviviparous, that is they lay eggs with well-developed embryos. Adult female and adult male Wuchereria bancrofti. Just have a look and compare it. We'll study the embryos of Wuchereria bancrofti. They are also known as microfilaria. After passing through the lymph nodes, the embryos find their way through the main lymphatic trunks into the blood, and from the blood they are sucked by the mosquitoes, that is the vectors. So the characteristics of embryos are they are actively motile, but they are motile within the sheath. As the embryos are enclosed within the sheath, just have a look at the diagram on the next page. They are colorless, translucent body. They have a pointed tail. And here again the females are larger than the males. Now comes the main part of the Wuchereria bancrofti, that is the life cycle. The life cycle is always very important. Study it with the diagrams. I have given 3 diagrams of the life cycle. Study whichever you find easy. Wuchereria bancrofti is digenetic. Digenetic means that the life history is completed in 2 hosts. Here the definitive host is the man and the intermediate host is the female mosquito. Mostly it is Culex, but sometimes Aedes and Anopheles can also play a role. We'll study the life cycle in the intermediate host. I have given the diagram on the left side. So while going through the PPTs, just concentrate on the diagram so it will be easier for you. The sheathed microfilaria, as I already told that the microfilaria is enclosed in a sheath that is ingested by the mosquito when it bites, that is during the blood meal. As it reaches in the stomach, the microfilaria sheds its sheath within 15 to 13 minutes and it penetrates the stomach wall within an hour or two and migrate to the thoracic muscles, and so the first stage larva is formed. This first stage larva rapidly grows, molts once or twice and changes into second stage larva. It takes about 3 to 7 days. Now comes the third stage larva. By about 11th day, it becomes fully grown with development of all internal structures. This is the third stage larva and this is the infective stage to man. This third stage lies in the labium of mosquito. Labium is the proboscis of the mosquito. In the definitive host, when the mosquito bites the man, it leaves the filaria worm in the moist skin of man. The larva creeps out of the labium to the human skin and penetrates into the skin and finally comes to settle down in the lymphatics of the man. Here it grows and becomes sexually mature within a period of around 5 to 18 months. Mature male and female worms fertilize in the lymph glands of man, where they usually live till the female worm produces microfilariae. They are numerous in number. Microfilariae find their way into the bloodstream where they can live for a considerable time without undergoing any development changes until they are sucked up by the secondary host, that is the mosquito, to complete the cycle. After studying the cycle, we'll study the pathogenesis and the clinical features of the disease. Of lymphatic filariasis range from a carrier state with no evident disease to chronic incapacitating illness. The best part is that filariasis does not kill but causes suffering, disfiguration and disability. The chronic manifestations of filariasis are due to obstruction of lymph vessels and nodes, which can be categorized into lymphadenopathy, lymphadenitis, lymphangiovarics, lymphoragia, hydrocele, lymphedema, elephantiasis. These are all described point-wise below. Please read and go through it. The most important clinical feature described here is hydrocele and elephantiasis. Just go through this. If you have any problem, we can discuss it in the question hour section. Topic: what is occult filariasis? Occult filariasis refers to a condition in which microfilariae are not found in the blood but may be seen in the tissues. This is caused by a hypersensitivity reaction to microfilarial antigens. The specimens are collected from the blood, from the chylous urine, hydrocele fluid, or biopsied lymph nodes. First, examination of blood can be done through thick blood smear technique or the wet slide preparation. Examination of biopsy specimens. Adult filarial worms can sometimes be found in the sections of biopsied lymph nodes as incidental findings, but this is not for routine diagnosis. Serological tests like ELISA test, IHA test can be used for detection of antibodies to larval antigens. PSR assay for the detection of microfilariae infection of Wucheria bancrofti has been developed. Portion which we have to deal with in the homeopathic as well as the allopathic. Since we are from the homeopathy stream, we'll concentrate on the homeopathy aspect. So in the question hour section, I would like to know some of the medicines for the filariasis. Here, for the routine treatment, diethyl carbamazine is the drug of choice for the allopathy mode. Ivermectin destroys microfilariae but not the adults. Last but very important portion of this filariasis chapter is prevention of filariasis. So what we'll do to prevent filariasis? First of all, destruction of breeding sites of vectors, using bed nets while sleeping, applying repellent creams on skin.